Hi, my name is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to The Last Podcast, where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I'm happy you found us. And if you are returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. Now, I've talked about, since January, I've talked about changed. I talk about one change in their life, how do we make changes in our life, and how we continue to grow as a person, as a human. And I've also had a program that a series called Change, and I talked heavily about the things and the questions that we need to ask ourselves in order to find answers why we are the way we are, and how can we make changes that will allow us to become better as individuals, better parents, or just better people and overall. I would say. So I've talked about training, and I'm going to talk about training again because I think it's so critical. I think it's so important. And if we want to do anything good in life, guess what? We got to train, right? When I first started this podcast, I did it as a way where I can deal with what was going on in my life. And if a lot of you may know that I lost my wife last year around on April 6th. So I started this podcast when she was sick, and I did it as a way of therapy for myself, just talking out in the ether. And I wanted to become good at talking again, because I've done a lot where only thing I talked about was sickness. The only thing I talked about was death. And I wanted to see if I can get back and talk to, just have regular conversations about just simple things, anything in life. So at the end of last year, I decided that, okay, well, I am ready to take on something or a new direction with this podcast. And of course, at the height of everything that I wanted to do, what would I want to talk about? And that is becoming a better person, because that was my goal. I wanted to find out what made myself tick, or I wanted to find out why I do the things I do and why I act the way I act, and so on and so forth. So that pursuit of trying to become better at what I do and a better person, I realized that, okay, I want to become a better podcaster. So there's certain things that I had to do, certain things that I had to do in my life, and certain things I had to change. We know that the content had to change, and what better way of me just talking about things that I'm really interested in, and that is becoming a better person. And I think a lot of us might feel that way. How do I change? A lot of people may have this question, and you get a lot of books. There are millions of books about self-improvement, and where do we start? How do we start? So I started with the series last month called Change, and I think training is key, is crucial. And I talked about it in Change, but I want to talk about training one more time. And this probably will not be the last time I talk about it, because I believe the significance of training helps us move forward in every area of our life. And I solely believe that cultivating success through small habits to help us master and transform our lives into the bigger picture that we see or want to see. And I think in order for us to get where we want to go, we have to train. And you see it every day. You see how musicians, singers, they don't just wake up one day and be able to sing so good. Of course, some of them have innate talent, but over a period of time, and they constantly using that talent, they grow better and they become better and they become experts. And next thing you know, everybody's enjoying their talent, and people be saying, oh, I wish I can sing like that, or I wish I can do that. Oh, they are so lucky. No, they're not lucky. They worked at it. They trained at it. They cultivated habits to increase their ability to become effective, to become good, to become perfect. Or I wouldn't say perfect, but I would say master their trade or whatever it is that they're doing. So, in the pursuit, I believe also in the pursuit of mastering our, let's say, excellence, training stands as the cornerstone or bedrock upon which we build our success or build our skill up on. So whether in sports, whether it's professional or endeavors, or the importance of training, I believe cannot be overstated or overrated. Believe me when I tell you this. I believe training is critical where raw talents meet discipline, and our efforts are helping us forge formidable forces, whether it's allowing us, I would say, probably to achieve our potential. So I think training will get us from point A to point Z, if that's our destination. For some, it probably could be A to M. However, in those destinations, A is not the starting point. I know it's the starting point of the alphabet, but it's not the starting point where we are right now and where we want to become. A is the first step that we take. And that first step is we have to, whatever that step might be for you, but that first step is creating the habits and the training that we need to get to or perform to get to Z or M or wherever our destination is, or basically where our big picture might lie. So training and the regiments that we have for training will help us cultivate small little habits in our training regiments that will help us unlock the outcomes that we want to see. And for some, those outcomes are remarkable. So you may already seen this in your life, and you may have achieved something, right? Where you thought prior to achieving it, it was impossible, right? But you already know there is something in your life, or you might feel that, wow, there's something I know I am able to do or want to do, or I was meant to achieve so much more. What am I doing wrong? Well, it's not the fact that you might be doing something wrong. It's the fact that your behaviors, your training, your little habits may need to change to get the outcomes that you want. And you think about it, training, whether it's a brand new job or anything of that nature, training serves as a platform for refining your skills, honing them to a level where you become very skilled at what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? So through consistent practice and repetition, and I say that, I don't know about you, I could read a ton of books, I could look at videos, but if I'm not actually doing it, I'm one of those people who learn by reading, looking at the videos, but most importantly, where it sinks in, where it soaks in, where I'm able to get it is when I'm actually doing it. So I don't know if that's you. There's some people who can read it and they can move and they can go. There's some people who can watch the video and say, yeah, I think I got it. Let me move forward. There are certain things in our life I know that if we watch video, we got it. It clicks. But even if you read the book and then you watch the video, now everything falls into place for you, right? That's the same thing about life. That's the same thing about whatever it is that we're going after, whatever it is that we're trying to chase, whatever it is that we're trying to refine and change in our life, we have to train. I mean, Look at basketball. You just don't get up out your bed one day and just, start dunking or start shooting with excellency. No, you have to hone those skills. You have to work. You have to have the discipline to get in the gym or get on the court and practice. You have to practice for hours if you want to become a skilled dribbler, where you could put it through your legs, you can put it through the legs of others, and people be amazed that, wow, that person is talented. That person also worked very hard. You see, when we do the little things that nobody sees, that is what matters. Those little behaviors, those little training moments that allows us to cultivate the grand scheme motions that everybody is in awe with. That in the dark, in the moments where we're by ourselves, those little small training moments is what matters. And believe me when I tell you, everybody can train for something. It depends on what you want out of life. It's what you want to do with your life. And it's never too early and it's never too late. I don't care. Age is nothing but a number. And for me, there's a lot of things that I want to do, but physically, yes. Unfortunately, I know that there are things that we cannot do because our bodies have limitations. Okay. Knowing those limitations should not stop us from doing certain things. We might have to work within those limitations. We may not be able to go ahead and jog for hours on end, but what happens if we could just do a sprint for just a couple of seconds? What happens if we're able to just move our arms for a couple of seconds and keep doing it over time with repetition? What happens? We might gain a little better mobility, right? Consistency is the cornerstone of peak performance. Believe it. So if you go out there and have your small little habits and help you foster consistency in instilling what routines you might need to become better at what you want to do so you can optimize your performance, whether it's adhering to a balanced diet like myself, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes, or just a proper sleeping regimen. Now, I know when it comes time to trying to sleep, I've talked to a lot of people, and I hear some people are only working on 4 hours, 3 hours, and you know what? They are at the top of their game. However, over a period of time, that also takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on the body. For instance, I know when I'm really tired, cognitively, I'm not all there. I might be working on fumes and I'm not sparking on all cylinders. Believe me when I tell you that. When I'm tired and I'm working on 2 to 3 hours of sleep in just, let's say, 2 to 3 days, I'm not sparking on all cylinders. Believe me. So I know it takes time to cultivate these small habits, but the habits and the training, they go hand in hand, because your habits is something like your small little behaviors. It helps with your performance. So training is not merely about repetition, but about a deliberate practice that let's say is aimed to a continued improvement in whatever it is that we want to do. Small habits help us facilitate this process by promoting efficiency and learning strategies, because you definitely are learning something new to become better at what you're doing, or want to become better at what it is that you're trying to train for. That big picture outcome, right? So think about this for a moment. Every morning, and when we talk about habits, every morning, before I even get out of the bed, I say my prayers and I thank God for letting me see another day, being grateful and thanking Him for all that I am and all that I have. Then I get up and I get rid of the water, brush my teeth, hop in the shower, and after I get dressed, I get my 2 cups of coffee. And before I leave the house, I exercise for 10 minutes to get the heart rate up, to get the blood flowing for a few minutes. Now, waking up grateful and thanking God for what I am and who I am, basically allows me to start my day with the goodness of God's blessing. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that if you don't believe in God. I mean, you have to believe in something greater than yourself to be grateful. Or I wouldn't even say that. But for me, it's God. It's God, is my Lord Jesus Christ. So that is, I'm thanking them every day for who I am and for all that I have. And then, I go about my day, right? So every day I have a salad. I eat apple slices in between my meals with a dab of peanut butter to curb my sweet cravings. Now in the evening, I'll have soup and toast. I know you're saying that, that's pretty much not really a healthy diet. I believe you on that to a degree. I've done this and I realize I haven't gained any weight, but it helps me maintain the weight that I've already lost. However, my small habits actually help me lose 35 pounds, and it helps me maintain those 35 pounds that I've lost. So I've lost any weight, I haven't gained any weight. However, if I want to basically change what I eat to lose more weight, guess what? I have to change the frequency and the things that I eat, along with the increased time of working out, because we know that it's 95% what you do at the table and 5% what you do as far as exercising. That really, really matters. So, because you can exercise for an hour but eat like a beast, and all that exercising is in vain. You get my point? So, at the heart of every training, or effective training, I would say, lies a growth mindset, the ability that you can basically develop through dedication and hard work. Our small habits, it helps us foster a mindset of growth, because in order to continue to train, in order to continue to change your little behaviors for the best, so you can get that big picture outcome that you're seeking or you envision. And some people have vision boards for this. They look at it every day. Some people have affirmations. They get up every morning and they say their affirmations. Or they look in the mirror and tell them how good you are. You're smart, you're intelligent, and you're great looking. You're whatever it is that you have to tell yourself every day to get into the habit of maintaining a positive attitude while you're growing and experiencing setbacks, because everybody's going to experience setbacks. I don't care where you are in life, you're going to have setbacks. But when you have the growth mindset and you have a perspective on where your life is, and you have a grounded foundation, your foundation is predicated on the rock, those setbacks mean nothing. It's just that, setbacks. It allows you to say, hey, I've gone through this and I've come out on the other side. I've done this, I've come out on the other side. I've experienced this. I've experienced loss. I've experienced hate. I've experienced so much pressure. But think of diamonds, how they're formed through pressure, immense pressure. Life is the same way. You can either lie down, or like Les Brown say, when you get knocked down, as long as you can look up, you can get up, right? Life is that way. So if you get knocked down as you're trying to become a better person, or as you're trying to achieve something within your life, remember to always look up. But what is more important, remember to always get back up, get back in the game, because it's not over. It's not over. The moment it's over is when you're no longer breathing. So as long as you can breathe, you can strive for something better in life. So in essence, training serves as our cornerstone, right? Whether it's greatness we're seeking, or whether we're just trying to improve our lives one way or another, small habits along the way with our behaviors are the building blocks that will pave the road to our success. It will pave the road to our big picture that we're heading to. from A to Z. Everything we do in between A and Z are our building blocks, are our behaviors, are our habits to help us move on the road of success. And when I say success, that means whatever success means to you. By embracing the importance of our training and our nurturing these habits, it allows us to unlock our true potential as humans, transcending limitations and achieving feats we once believed was impossible for us. As we embark on this journey, I guarantee you it'll be worth the wait, it will be worth the training, it will be worth the altering of behaviors, because we'll be able to reach the bigger picture. What's your big picture? Where do you see yourself going? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Know this, it doesn't matter as long as you never stop. You have to keep changing things in your life. If you've been doing something and it hasn't been working, then change what you're doing. You might even have to change your perspective on how you're doing something. And that's why they say you have to renew your mind, because it could be a mindset thing that is preventing you from reaching your destiny. So, my name is Dave. You're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I hope you would share this podcast with your friends, family, and I hope that you would like it, subscribe to it, and I am so grateful to be here and being able to do a podcast that it's just an absolute blessing to talk and be able to share with you an insight that might create a positive change within your life. So if I've done that, then I've done my job. I thank you so much for listening. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.